Kwalebu was, I think, 380.
380 Ghana cedis.
Yes. But private, some are 500, 450, some are 800, 860.
Per session,
yes.
You have to do 2 every
week.
Yeah.
Even if someone earns 5,000 Ghana cedis every month, that person cannot keep paying 380 cedis 3 times a week for dialysis.
Majority of the people who need dialysis to survive in Ghana don't even earn half of the amount mentioned.
Some people battling organ diseases end up losing their jobs because their companies cannot keep paying them for always being absent.
How are these people expected to afford the monies needed for dialysis as well as other expenses, talk less of the huge amounts they have to come up with for transplantation surgeries outside Ghana when they get donors?
It is because of these people that GhanaWeb in August 2023 launched the organ donation legislation campaign to push for the country to pass a law that will guide organ harvesting and transplanting.
As Kwalebu plans to increase dialysis fees, the situation requires quicker attention and action.
And so, we must get Parliament to start discussing the organ donation bill and pass it into law.
Now, when this bill is passed, more lives will be saved and the financial burden on patients would be reduced.
And that is why we need you to join us on this campaign. Join the campaign by sending a 1-minute video of yourself sharing why Ghana needs a legislation on organ donation now to editor@ghanaweb.com or via WhatsApp 0552 699 625. Alternatively, you can share the video directly on your social media handles with the hashtags #PassOrganDonationLaw and #LegalizeOrganDonationNow. Organ failure should not be a death sentence.
I'm just going to attempt this. You all should be praying for me by now. I'm going to see if I can do that. So this is my attempt. This is my attempt. Woo! Our drive to Assin Kushia in the Assin North constituency of the Central Region started as early as 5 a.m. from our base in Accra. Tired as the team already was on the road, we still had high hopes of what our day's journey to and from the town regarded as the cleanest in Ghana would be like. It was truly an experience we all look forward to. And before long, after making at least one stopover at Mankesim to get early morning wache, we entered the Assin Central constituency. Yes, the famous one where Kennedy Japan is its member of parliament. And without a doubt, the town and its towering look was without question, unlike the other Assin communities before it. And then we saw that sign welcoming us to Assin Kushia, the cleanest city in Ghana. From what we experienced in this small community, the evidence of this claim needed no argument. Indeed, it is the cleanest, with many towns in Ghana now taking lessons from it and ensuring that their towns are equally as clean as Assin Kushia or relatively close to it. But before we dive into the actual stories from this town, let's take a moment to appreciate Assin Kushia's commitment to sanitation. The town has implemented several initiatives that have helped it maintain its title as the cleanest in Ghana, a echo to the good people and traditional ruler of Kushia. We needed to say a quick hello to the paramount chief of Assin Orienchi, which includes Kushia, and that is exactly what we did. But wait, before that, let's admire this magnificent edifice, well planned with beautiful architectural designs, making it stand out in the town. We meet Nana Pra, and he immediately takes us on a tour of his palace.
You know, this are true like Daniel Proverbs. Also, Nigeria boy be able. Tekramani Nkrumah womoko. The next one, Tetefly, who here Osachi Chidiachi. So boy, my back is so strong. Small needle that can never penetrate. Then the next one, the creature called Nkrumah. This creature. It's got two heads, one stomach. When you put meat there, they fight for it.
But it's going into the same stomach.
That's a proverb. Though it's going to the same stomach, if you put meat there, they're fighting. Now, last one, who food your part? And every Ghanaian knows that one. This one, Adichia, they both know, but it's the man's duty to go. Yes, the vision of duty. It's about some question. Okay. I bet Wahona or I teach you up not me, you can't. You understand? I bet. There's nothing that a snake can do. Next one, yeah. Then the next one is a crocodile and a piece of wood. They are both in the water. Doesn't matter how many years the wood spends in the water, it will never turn to a crocodile.
As you can see, renovation works are still ongoing in the various rooms. Now that the formalities are out of the way, we move to explore more places in Assin Kushia. Let's begin with a crocodile pond. Assin Kushia takes pride in its harmonious relationship with nature, and this crocodile pond is a testament to that. It is located on the edges of the main entrance of the town, where the inscription "Ajinsem Crocodile Pond, trespassers will be eaten," welcomes visitors.
Kushia has a crocodile pond, and Kwabna Ebo is the gentleman who actually
watches over this place. Governor, it's saying.
Yes, we are doing no.
Now, crocodiles, no. Ahenewo, aha.
But you're more three.
Yes, sir. Omo din bi anasere.
Oh, din de yan fa mu. Ba fa ni plan say e mu din. Ba we do anytime bi anasere mu anko ade am from a baby omo baba.
Na where dem from?
Me say dem mo na metete omo achi.
Okay. So okay, so tete omo achi. Ti say if you are
about 14 years now.
Oh. You know, oh achi.
Oh, achi.
It just say a hand so pon no. How many years now? Pond ways here.
Nana, yeah, you know, we did 15 years. And you two for 3 years and I did on be now. Oh, yeah, actually. Good point. She had to to me, Mamma. I deal with Abadaha. Will be able to move for car, Baha, Bashaman energy. And says, your Mamma, Arium had it, and Qualo Mundim say. Abo we see na otia na ase bibia te service o munyi na hu de we a abo we otie emo we de mutumi nyini bebre ba se abo no oya abo bi a chi se yikuna ansan we hu age dudu a wenya biodiversity mu de mintumi enchire se bia wenya be 25 years and I say 30 years
but time ben on mode on mobile o was 14 years now age ma na miensa ni na wa ansa wo start say we adwuma na sete
mpacho da bi me ba ya ansa ye de omo ba.
Okay. Nti o kai time a ye de omo ba ye
time omo de omo ba de me kai pa you school 2 weeks. Okay. 2 weeks da year na ye adwuma we ya o mama amu de mo an ba ye.
Okay. Na me hu say we den aduane ben
we ye akokwa na ma ye de from
sana ye de frɛ crocodiles sir. Okay. Nti yen hwe senior o from say yen hwe say obedi enam nana. Okay, so that's his attempt to get one of the crocodiles out of the pond. Let's see if he falls for the bait. All right. Okay. It was a way they meant to be beno. Meet me a beno. Bibi ayo okay there. On ha me.
On how on your way.
Yen ben kakra. I am going to attempt to do this. Meet me assume. I'm just going to attempt this. You all should be praying for me by now. I'm going to see if I can do that. So this is my attempt. Woo! And I'm this close to the crocodile. Trust me, my heart is already under my feet. Okay, that's another one. Another attempt we're making. There we go again. This is the closest I've been to any such thing. Okay, Ebo, Metron will say why. Well, so that's actually the attempt. That's just one of the crocodiles we have been able to see here. And look at Ebo actually has his hand right on the crocodile. That's brave act. Well, maybe it takes 14 years to be able to achieve this kind of bravery. There are 3 actually. I see another one right there. It is just hiding under the water. But this has been very friendly of the sort. It's come out to talk to us, as it were. In Ghana today, we know of only one predominant crocodile pond, which is located at Paga. Many people will travel all the way to Paga just to see these crocodiles. The chief of Kushia could never fathom such an experience, and so he decided to bring his own crocodile pond home. And that's how Ehunabu Brim Nana Pra Ajinsem VI established this crocodile pond at Assin, Kushia. Phew. Look, we'll have this conversation when you attempt getting this close to a crocodile. But that's been it. 3 crocodiles here at Assin Kushia. We're only able to see one of them, and I got so close. I mean, like, someone will say I conquered my fear, but well, that's been it. And I'm sure that you enjoyed the little interaction we had there. 14 years that Ebo has been with these animals. He describes them as how you take care of a dog. Maybe we'll see how that
turns out for any of us out there.
Now, let's make our way to the mini Assin Kushia Zoo. The zoo is the first place you see when you enter through the second gate of the palace. This haven of biodiversity not only provides a home for various animal species, but also serves as a center for conservation efforts. As we walk through the zoo, we see different kinds of animals, from the ostrich, horses, peacocks, ducks, tortoise, among others.
Ooh. Well, so you see what I'm doing now. That's an ostrich actually, and this ostrich is part of a mini zoo that's here at the palace at Kushia. I hear after this ostrich is done with all the leaves on this, well, it might be trying to gauge at me. We don't want to get to that point. But we'll take you around the zoo, the other animals here, right here. This is a beauty and a sight. I'm enjoying this. I know my daughter would also enjoy this. Very interested. So hey, come along with us. We are still here in Kushia and we're exploring the town. We are going to tell you what's in the zoo, and then we'll hear some of the stories with them. So come along, let's go.
Next, we make a quick stopover at the tomb of the unknown slave. The story behind this tomb is that during the era of the slave trade, some of the routes used by the slaves as were transported to the coastal towns for onward travels to the Western world included Assin Kushia. The spot where the tomb has been made is where the people of Assin Kushia believe is where some of those slaves died. As a way of remembering the sacrifices and horrors of these slaves, the chiefs and people of Assin Kushia decided to install this monument known as the Tomb of the Unknown Slave. The tomb serves as a reminder of the inhumanity and cruelty of the slave trade and the importance of never forgetting this dark period in history. We're not done telling you the stories of Assin Kushia. Join us next week as we continue on this memorable journey.
Kwahu was, I think, 380.
380 Ghana cedis.
Yes. But private, some are 500, 450, some are 800, 860.
Per session,
yes.
You have to do 2 every
week.
Yeah.
Even if someone earns 5,000 Ghana cedis every month, that person cannot keep paying 380 cedis 3 times a week for dialysis.
Majority of the people who need dialysis to survive in Ghana don't even earn half of the amount mentioned.
Some people battling organ diseases end up losing their jobs because their companies cannot keep paying them for always being absent.
How are these people expected to afford the monies needed for dialysis as well as other expenses? Talk less of the huge amounts they have to come up with for transplantation surgeries outside Ghana when they get donors.
It is because of these people that GhanaWeb in August 2023 launched the organ donation legislation campaign to push for the country to pass a law that will guide organ harvesting and transplanting.
As Kwahu plans to increase dialysis fees, the situation requires quicker attention and action.
And so, we must get Parliament to start discussing the organ donation bill and pass it into law.
Now, when this bill is passed, more lives will be saved and the financial burden on patients would be reduced.
And that is why we need you to join us on this campaign. Join the campaign by sending a 1-minute video of yourself sharing why Ghana needs a legislation on organ donation now to editor@GhanaWeb.com or via WhatsApp 0552 699 625. Alternatively, you can share the video directly on your social media handles with the hashtags #PassOrganDonationLaw and #LegalizeOrganDonationNow. Organ failure should not be a death sentence.
It's a fort.
It is a rare fort to support the castle. So this is the place they used to use the telescope. If you are in an up, you can see the Ermina castle. So he used to lodge this place, make sure that the better prey will move on.
This way leads where?
To the castle.
Okay. And then the other one?
The other one, he used to entry.
Okay. So that means that much as we climbed using this, that was not how the queen
used to.
She used to enter through a tunnel.
Good. Then the militaries used to climb.
We're on our way to Elmina actually to see if we could get the story of the Elmina fort, but then we saw this very petite fort of the sort. We would have to get in there to find out if this is actually a fort. Very petite, it's like a room size or one compound size fort here in the heart of Cape Coast. That's what we want to get the story on. This is our Ghana Man series here on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Echiatisu. Look, this is how we get up onto the fort, as it were, climbing up. This, I believe, has been here for as long as this fort has also been here. So come on, come along with us. Let's see what's in here. Okay. All right, so we are right here on the compound. I see a gentleman here. Come on, let's speak to him. Hello.
Yo, bro.
Hi. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
My name is Echi. I'm from GhanaWeb.
Oh, that's great.
What's your name?
My name is Matthias.
Matthias.
Yeah.
Matthias, we spotted this on our way to Elmina.
Exactly.
What's this place?
This is the place you used to call Fort Victoria.
Okay.
That's a very special fort built by the Queen of the British.
Okay.
It's
a fort.
It is a rare fort to support the castle.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're in Cape Coast. So there's a castle in Cape Coast. So this was supposed to support
the castle. Here is a very long tower through the Cape Coast. This is the very long tower.
Okay.
More than over there. So if you check over there, it's a double. Here is only one.
Okay.
Yep.
But this is way higher than the other one.
Good.
Okay.
So this is the place they used to use the telescope. If you are in an up, you can see the Ermina castle. Because of the sun, that is why you cannot see. But
okay.
You
it's
can
a little
check
cloudy.
It. So if it is the night, you see.
All right.
Yeah.
So you mean that this was a central place between the Cape Coast Castle, which is on my right at the moment, and then the Elmina
Castle
also here.
Yep.
But what work was done here?
This is the very special place made by the Queen.
Okay.
Used to call Queen Victoria. She became a queen in 1837.
Okay.
She takes 7 years to build this place to make a better trade between Ghana and the British.
Okay.
That is a better trade to help you with a little.
And you give them something.
You give them something.
And the something was what?
The something is a very special rock that we used to call it, special rock that we used to call it the gold.
Okay.
Over here, it is a very special and very quality. So the British see that, no, this is a very precious place. I mean, this is their all dream come true. So the Queen come to support them.
Okay.
So he used to lodge this place, make sure that the better trade will move on. She made the center where the white people and the black people used to meet and do the better trade. Give them example like wine, mirror, comb. Then you too, you give him or her woman being or gold or something special.
So similar to other stories of other forts, the same way. This was initially for trade.
Exactly.
There was trade between the locals and then the colonial masters. So they were taking gold from here.
Exactly.
Did it serve that purpose in its entirety? Was that all they did here eventually?
Through this thing, it make like this is a very special place to them.
Okay.
So they will never leave this place, because the first white man who used to arrive in this place is the Portuguese.
Okay.
But the British people came and overthrown them. That is why they used to call themselves the Great Britons. They used to make a many country like America, Canada, Colombia, Belgium, where you see the white and black many. Right? So this is a very special.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I see that this place, the cannons have these wheels on them. I have not seen that around anywhere. In fact, this is a very small place. Very, very small place. And what's the other thing that we see here that's unique? Similar things, there are holes in here for people to look
inside.
But that's what?
This is a tunnel.
It's a tunnel?
Yep.
Okay. Can we
here and over there is the same.
There are two?
There are two.
So there's one here?
And over there. Here's the way.
This way leads where?
To the castle.
Okay. And then the other one?
The other one, he used to entry.
Okay. So that means that much as we climbed using this, that was not how the queen
used to.
She used to enter through a tunnel.
Good. Then the militaries used to climb.
So it's been there from the time this place was
exactly.
Built.
So
it was for the soldiers.
For the soldiers. If you check on Google, you see how it is. It is not like that. It's because of the erosion that it shifts a little bit.
Okay, so what's a plain?
It is very plain. There is a wall.
Okay.
You see that very special. There's a flowers. There is a walking way. If you check on Google now, because it is online.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the queen will enter through the down there.
Exactly.
Climb up. That means there was a staircase.
Here is the room of the queen.
Okay, can we get into the room
exactly.
now to see?
Here's the gate. Yeah.
Is this the place? Where's the other tunnel?
Here is it. They used to cover it.
Okay.
Like the way Asians used to build the tall buildings.
Yes.
They use wood on it after they continue.
Okay.
This is how they used to build. So if you check, you see the timber.
Yes, still in there.
Good. Then after they take the plywood and this thing to cover it. Right?
All right.
So if you stand on up here, you will see whole Cape Coast.
Wow.
Yeah. This 1, 2, 3, 4.
So the other tunnel the queen used has been sealed?
It has been sealed.
Okay.
It will pass through this. He used to sleep this place, pass through
So
this.
she used to sleep here as well?
Yep. He used to lodge. If he come to Cape Coast, he didn't go to anywhere. This is the special place for her.
So she preferred to sleep here
exactly.
in there?
Nah, over there he don't used to, because over there it's make like a business center.
Okay, but here was her.
He has a very special good
hideout
where she can see the whole Cape Coast and get a better breeze without disturbing with the mosquitoes and local peoples around.
There's a tunnel
leading
to Elmina.
Exactly.
It was not just trade.
No, it's not for trade. It's a very where they used to pass the stubborn slaves. Are you getting me?
The people will call those in a condemned cells. Is that the one?
Yep, it is a cell. If you go to Cape Coast Castle, you see that it's a cell. Then you see the queen office on the up of the cell.
Okay.
So this tunnel passed through the cell.
That's where it leads to.
Good. So there's another one from Nkrumah through Cape Coast Castle. The time the slaves will be arrived, that they will see that where we are.
And you're already here.
You are already here. Then here too, outside Cape Coast, there is a big ships waiting over there to take you. Yeah. So it is 400 years now.
400 years.
They used to build in 1844.
So this is
it's getting to 3th century. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. 400-year-old.
Yeah. Very strong and solid.
Same as these metals.
Exactly. Very solid. Very solid. Yeah.
And you're the only one who is here now.
Yeah.
Is this place part of the places that, for instance, the state has actually taken over and ensuring that this place is kept as one of the heritage sites?
Exactly.
Is that the case?
It's a very special place, but you know, Africa, sometimes we have a little problem. Some are good, some are bad. Some will see the white people used to come to visit this place, they will wait them on the gate. After visit this place moving, they will collect their camera or their bag from them and run away. So they used to tell their brothers and sisters abroad that this place, there's a lot of robbing.
Okay, so this particular fort, because of the location, when tourists would come, you say that by the time they're leaving, people would gang up on them or steal from them?
Steal from them.
Oh.
That's around 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009.
Okay.
So I came to arrange this place. The Queen grandchildren just come to visit this thing. He said, no, it's not good, it's not unfair. So he come to meet me and said, no, how I arrange this, I'm supposed to take good care of it.
When did you come here?
Let me say 8 to 9 months now.
Okay.
That was May. Yeah,
okay.
May, yeah.
But you have a fair idea you have a pretty good memory of this place.
Exactly.
I see. So that means that now tourists don't come here at all. People don't,
they used to come,
but they no longer come.
No, now I'm here. It is more safe than nobody is around. Are you getting me?
Okay.
Because if you come, I will receive you better, told you what is going on, give you the secret, give you the story. After, I will make sure that I will escort you to the point that I will see that if the bad people are around, they cannot collect anything from you.
So that's to say that if you're watching this and this is Fort Victoria, right in the heart of Cape Coast. If you're watching this and you are looking for a place of heritage to be able to visit, this is one of the places that you should come to. I mean, if you heard stories in the past about theft and the like, that's no longer the case because Matthias is here, my good friend Matthias is here.
Exactly.
He would ensure that your safety is guaranteed.
You always
so this should be another place that people make up as their next tourist destination.
Exactly.
So Matthias, I know it's a small place, it's a small history, but you say it's special. I've heard you use that word several times.
Exactly.
It's actually special.
It is very special.
Because you get in.
Because if you go to the Queen have a park over there.
Okay.
They used to call it Victoria Park. It is a very international park in the whole Central. If you come to Cape Coast, if they didn't do anything in Victoria Park, that means it is a just little
bit. That's true, because that's the main park.
Exactly. Why they used to call it Victoria Park. The Queen is very special to them. She brought civilization to the white people. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want to just these balls are what I want to. These cannons. You don't have any balls. The cannon balls.
Because the bad people, they used to take the cannon. You know.
What do they use them for?
For the scraps. Just sell for just little money to get something to, they are daily bread. Are you getting me?
Okay.
Yeah. So they used to take this and transfer this to Kumasi Menchia.
Well, they used to pick the cannons from here?
From here to Kumasi Menchia, Paris, because it is more useful over there than somebody will pick it over here. So if you went to Menchia, Paris, you will see that the white people, they don't go there, but we have a type of cannon.
No, the whites were never there.
Yeah, but if you are talking about the history, about the white people come to help we Fanti to fight the Ashanti kingdom, because Ashanti was empire, but Fantis, we are not empire. Are you getting me? Otumfuo was there before Ghana. Get the independence, the name Ghana come. Yeah. It's 1608 that Ashanti Empire was found. Ghana became Ghana in 1957. That they signed under the Ghana, Nkrumah. So those people, if you are talking about a lot of slaves, the Ashanti people are a lot.
I see a very interesting thing on one of these. There's an inscription or
This is a very special clan. That's the
So
queen.
this is the queen's crown.
Crowned.
This is it.
Yeah.
So that's actually the crown. At least I could make that out.
You will see the GR, but
yeah.
I tried to find the meaning. I couldn't find the meaning. This is the great. I don't know this. Yeah. If you go to internet, I'll find it, but I can't find the meaning.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to Castle, if you go to Castle, you find this
same crown
on the office of the lady. She made the office in 1988. Yeah.
Okay.
On the front of the this. They used to climb, go up.
Okay.
Yeah. So the militaries.
Okay. They used to climb.
That's
where they used to
guide all wide. They used to guide.
I know that I've seen that you've kept this place quite well. Even leading up to this place, the road.
I like this place very much because since I was a little kid, I don't come from Cape Coast, but I was educated here.
Okay.
I used to come here to study, only me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I used to come inside, very special, very neat.
Yeah. And I realize you're using this place.
It is I know. That is why I'm always here. Yeah.
I
come to school in Jibri Boys School.
Okay, right
down there.
Okay.
So I used to come here to learn. Yeah. Only me, because here is very good if you are learning or if you want to pass your hours. It is a very special place. You can see whole Cape Coast, what is going on.
Even the beach is right here.
Yeah. You get a better breeze. The scent is not the same. You see that over here, the scent over here and the down, the scent is not the same.
Different.
Yeah, it's different.
Now I know that again, like I'm saying, it's a small place, but with great, rich history.
Exactly.
Is there something that if there were any authorities, maybe the Monuments Board, the ministry, anyone in authority that could help bring some uplift to this place? Is there some kind of help?
Yep. That is why I told you before that I was here arranging, then the Queen grandchildren
came
from Scotland.
Okay.
She came, she wanted to take money to arrange any fort that belonged to the British in the whole Ghana. So he came to meet me over here. She talked to me to have patience, try to arrange this place. So it is better for me to do a garden or something to arrange this place, make it better. Anybody come, I welcome him, make sure that nobody will misbehave around.
So you'd wish that beyond what the promise from the great-great-grandchildren of the Queen herself, you're hoping that at least the state of Ghana or someone.
I believe because if you said anyone should come to arrange this place, it will be a boom. But no one can come because it belongs to the special people. Are you getting me? Yeah. We have a lot of people that they get the money that they can use. They will, even 3 days will not reach. They will make a better place, very special. They will do their radio because over here you get a very good reception.
Yeah.
Very best. Yeah. Because everything you do over here, it will prosper. They try their best to do radio, then the museum people try to stop them. Anyone who will try, the musicians come here, try. It's nothing if they want to arrange this. Even you get more than, you just make it special. Plant, make flowers, beautification. It is nothing, but it is not easy to get this. Are you getting me?
Matthias, thank you. Again, like I mentioned, when we were starting this was not actually part of our plan, but then when we saw it, it really was striking. You could really tell that this was something that had some story around it. So we just wanted to come here and speak to you, and I'm grateful. Thank you for keeping this place.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise, you are a nice man.
Oh, you too, bro. I like you.
So that's been, Matthias is more or less like the caretaker of this Fort Victoria, right in the heart of Cape Coast. And you hear the story. This was more or less where the Queen would come and while away her time. She preferred the serenity of this area much better than being even in the main castle here at Cape Coast. Even though there was a tunnel that would connect here to Elmina, it's obviously been blocked, and that's the history of this place. So again, like I said, if you're considering a place to visit, and it could be any of the forts, this is one of the places you come to, because Matthias is here. He will ensure that you get good history of the place and your security is granted.
As we leave the historic Fort Victoria in Cape Coast, we're heading towards one of the most iconic landmarks of this beautiful coastline, which is the Cape Coast Lighthouse.
Apparently, between the Fort Victoria in the heart of Cape Coast and the castle, there's actually a lighthouse right in the middle here. This is where it is, and why not? Let's see what we can find out about this place. This is our continuous coverage of Ghana Man series here on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Echiatisu. Come, let's climb up this staircase up to the lighthouse and see what we find out.
Since there was no one to take us around, let's just have a quick peek of this lighthouse and learn a little history about the place. The Cape Coast Lighthouse, built in 1835 by the British, is one of the oldest lighthouses in Ghana and a prominent landmark in the region. It was constructed to help ships navigate the dangerous coastline, which was historically known for shipwrecks due to its rocky shores. Standing 20 meters tall, the lighthouse features a cylindrical stone structure with distinctive white and red strips, making it easily identifiable. The lighthouse also holds deep historical significance. It stands on a hilltop, offering a commanding view of the Cape Coast Castle, which was once a major center for the transatlantic slave trade. The lighthouse's location near this dark chapter of history provides a poignant reminder of the region's past. Over the years, the lighthouse has continued to serve its primary function of guiding vessels safely, but it has also become a symbol of the resilience of the local people. In addition to its maritime role, the Cape Coast Lighthouse now attracts tourists with its stunning views of the Atlantic Ocean and the surrounding landscape, making it a must-see spot for those visiting the Cape Coast area. Today, the Cape Coast Lighthouse stands as a testament to both the colonial history of the region and its ongoing importance in modern-day maritime navigation. It's not just a structural function, but also a piece of history that offers visitors a connection to the past while providing panoramic views of the natural beauty of the area.
Thank you. This has been our episode on Ghana Man series here on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Echiatis. Remember always to like, subscribe, click on the notification button of our channel on YouTube. Look for GhanaWeb TV so that the next time I put up a video or any of us put up a video, you would get notified. Until another time. Bye-bye.
Kwahu was, I think, 380.
380 Ghana cedis.
Yes. But private, some are 500, 450, some are 800, 860.
Per session,
yes.
You have to do 2 every
week.
Yeah.
Even if someone earns 5,000 Ghana cedis every month, that person cannot keep paying 380 cedis 3 times a week for dialysis.
Majority of the people who need dialysis to survive in Ghana don't even earn half of the amount mentioned.
Some people battling organ diseases end up losing their jobs because their companies cannot keep paying them for always being absent.
How are these people expected to afford the monies needed for dialysis as well as other expenses, talk less of the huge amounts they have to come up with for transplantation surgeries outside Ghana when they get donors?
It is because of these people that GhanaWeb in August 2023 launched the organ donation legislation campaign to push for the country to pass a law that will guide organ harvesting and transplanting.
As Kwahu plans to increase dialysis fees, the situation requires quicker attention and action.
And so, we must get Parliament to start discussing the organ donation bill and pass it into law.
Now, when this bill is passed, more lives will be saved and the financial burden on patients would be reduced.
And that is why we need you to join us on this campaign. Join the campaign by sending a 1-minute video of yourself sharing why Ghana needs a legislation on organ donation now to editor@ghanaweb.com or via WhatsApp 0552 699 625. Alternatively, you can share the video directly on your social media handles with the hashtags #PassOrganDonationLaw and #LegalizeOrganDonationNow. Organ failure should not be a death sentence.
Hello and welcome to the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. It's Veronica Onoman here, and with me to have the discussion is an astute politician from the NPP fraternity. He served in the capacity of an MP on 2 occasions and as a minority chief whip. And you probably didn't know this, he actually piloted the free SHS prior to the nationwide rollout. We'll be touching on issues such as the galamsey going on in various areas in Ghana. We'll be talking about the Boko conflict, as well as other politically charged issues. So stay tuned as we take a quick break. I will be back for the discussion. So welcome back from the breather. Honorable, how have you been? It's been a while we had a chat.
Yes, that's true.
Yes.
I've been hiding in my village, concentrating on my farms, away from politics.
Well, you've been farming?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I've been hiding in my village, just farming, concentrating.
Right. But so what informed this shift to farming? Because I know you're a businessman.
Yeah,
apart
farming
from
is equally a business.
A business. Oh, okay. So what are we cultivating?
All kinds of things that can bring money.
Wow. So far, how has been the experience with farming? Because people tend to veer away from that. Like you rightly said, farming is also business, but
Yes.
people don't see it as lucrative as any other business. What's your experience with farming?
Well, farming is equally lucrative, depending on how you go about it. If you decide to tackle it as our grandparents and mothers used to do it, then perhaps you will not benefit from it commercially. But if you approach it from the modern perspective, modern way of farming, then you'll be good to go.
Wow. So far you can testify that farming is really lucrative and people should be looking into that space now.
Yeah. There are all kinds of things that you can export and make money from if you go into farming.
Wow, that's refreshing to hear.
Yeah. Even the local market, all kinds of things that these new supermarkets are looking for, but can have constant and reliable sources of supply. So it's a matter of identifying what is being sought for, or the market, and then you produce to meet
the demand.
Exactly.
Wow, that's refreshing to know. Right, so let's get into politics, because I've known you largely to be a politician and communicator for the MPP.
Except I went on leave for about a year before the last election.
But now you are back in action.
To stay off the media space just to relieve myself of
stress,
unnecessary stress.
Then you are back into the business, so brace yourself.
So I only watch sports and then sometimes CNN news.
Oh, okay. Right. Did you practice any sports when you were growing up?
I was a real football fan.
Really? But did you actively play? Okay.
I never played myself at all.
Right. So let's talk about the MPP.
Yeah.
Before the breaking the 8, people were really hopeful that Bawumia will be taking the MPP to this year to actually manage Ghana. But unfortunately, the turnout of the 2024 event gave a rather interesting twist. So how do you feel about it? Did you even see it coming?
Well, we're all wishing we could win for the sake of Ghana, because we know when it comes to the development of this country, MPP is always far better than, a better option than NDC. So we're all hoping we will win. But those of us who were actually on the grounds also were not seeing the signals. We're not seeing the victory signals, and yet people
what do you mean by not seeing the victory signals?
Well, as a seasoned politician, if you go into an election, you will win. You can see from afar.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, you can see from afar. But the situation on the ground, the noises on the ground, the divisions, the apathy, and all those things that we were foreseeing and telling people, well, they did not take us seriously. So some of us were actually not surprised that we lost. If anything at all, it was the magnitude of the loss
that shocked you. Wow. So following this defeat, which actually shook the ranks and file of NPP, we've heard Honorable Ajasafo making some allegations. It's actually disgruntled about some issues that were going on while the MPP was in power. How do you receive the news?
Well,
is she justified in coming out to say?
There's a school of thought that yes, people should be allowed to, go out there and say whatever they want to say. But I don't believe in that line of thinking. Yes, we all have our grievances. We all have our issues at different scales, different levels. So if everybody should go out there in the media space to talk about his or her grievances, well, I wonder what will eventually happen to the party. So some of us believe, yes, we have been wronged, we step on our toes or whatever, but for the sake of the party and for that matter, Ghana, we must find other means of resolving our differences and finding a better way forward. But if we are to go out there and start, playing to, especially the media, I personally don't think that will help the party. I never believe that way to go.
So you are part of the group that believes that she should have been disciplined by the party?
No. That's also not an option.
It didn't come off anyway. So
the party has a lot of elders out there. All they had to do was to call for one of such elders to go to Adwa one-on-one, maybe listen to her and talk to her, but not to call her that you're going to discipline. This game is about numbers. Okay, fine, you discipline the person. Okay, he says, take your party, I'm out. But don't forget, when one person says he's leaving the party, even if the person is an orphan, that person might have a friend who may follow her out. And more often than not, such people, even if they were not actively campaigning for the party before, now that you have sacked him or her from the party, I bet you he may devote time going out there and destroy the party further.
With negative publicity.
Of course. And once this game is about numbers, every one member that leaves affects the party, yes. This is one of the few things where, the politics does not agree with the scriptures. In the scripture, they will say, if you lose one sheep, you have the 99, you have to leave the 99, go after the one. But in politics, if you follow the one, alone and don't take care of the 99, by the time you come back, they will all be gone. So you make sure everyone matters. Everyone is counted for. But you must protect the 99 and then try and bring the one also back as well.
Right. So how do you see this Ajasafo and the disciplinary committee issue getting resolved?
Well, they should just call some elders. Definitely there are some elders that I know Adwa may listen to. You see, including her own father. I'm sure, if we bring in some respected elderly persons within the party to talk to Adwa, perhaps the father, this issue can be resolved in a better way than going by the disciplinary methods. No.
Oh, okay. Right.
But
Okay,
in that case, the worst we will do from the disciplinary action, the worst we will do is to sack her from the party. And I'm not sure the party, if we are going to go that path and start sacking everybody that,
In the case of Adwa, it will be very devastating looking at the backing from her father's church and
any other person, not just Adwa alone. Even that Palm One Tapa down there, even that Kayaye person down there, she has friends and family and friends who may equally join her, if she leaves or if she or he is sacked. So it's not just about Adwa. Any other person matters as far as it remains a game of numbers.
Right. Well said. So today marks exactly 100 days since President John Mahama took the helm of affairs. Yeah. So how are you seeing the resetting? How do you view it so far?
Oh, honestly, they have nothing to resettle for President Mahama. I'm not sure. I don't have any confidence in him that he has nothing new to offer. There's much ado about nothing. They will continue doing the old noise, and then by the end of his 4th year, Ghana would have gone backwards, just as it happened in his first tenure. Even that time that he knew that he would come back to us to seek our mandate, he didn't care about us. How much more this time around that he has nothing to gain or to lose.
Even while he's trying to recover monies that he believes has been looted.
How much has he recovered? 100 days. How much?
Oh, but
all propaganda.
Any days yet?
It's all propaganda. Yes, that is why I won't even evaluate him. You see, but what I said is I doubt if he has anything new to offer. It's the same old John Mahama in new NDC clothes. That's all. But the person hasn't changed. It's the same old John.
No, but now he's talking about Nkrumah. Also, I mean, farming, in line with farming, as well as 24-hour economy to expand.
That's why I said I won't evaluate him. Talk is cheap. For the talk and the promises, you can say all those kinds of things. The 10 billion push or whatever he calls it. Is it your first time hearing it? In his first term too, he said the same thing. 10 billion hope. That time he called it Hope Village or Hope City or something like that. With this RLG or I've forgotten. RLG guy. Yeah, they brought similar thing, 10 billion push program. Where's the Hope City? It never came to pass. So why would I believe that this time around?
Okay, well, let's wait and see. It's early days yet, like
early days yet. Yeah. We will give you some time to just wind around, and at the appropriate time we will start to take him on. But for now, well, he has some good ministers out there. Some of his guys, have the potential, but then they still have to look up to the leader.
Okay.
You see, because the bus stops on his desk. So if the leader cannot, then I wonder what that was.
You are the former MP for Upper Dentra West.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So we know that there's parts of the areas where galamsey is endemic.
The whole constituency.
Yes. So I mean, it's getting out of hand, given the statistics that are coming out. Do you see an end in sight?
Well, that is if we are serious and have the political will to end it, we will end it. But the approach to me is what perhaps is not helping us. All this while I have been preaching about a different approach to manage this so-called galamsey issues. But, well, the leadership also perhaps, for whatever reasons, also have their own agenda. So it's like we look on while the things degenerate. this issue, as long as there's gold down there, people will go for it.
No, but shouldn't there be punitive measures to stop people from?
No, it's a matter of regulation. Put the proper mechanisms in place. Ghana is not against mining. What we are against is improper mining. Look, I was, for 12 years in Parliament, I was a member of the Mines and Energy Committee. I tell you, if you go to where the Nkrumahs and the, apart from Anglo Gold, that does underground mining, all the rest, Nkrumah, goldfields and what have you, the kind of devastation they cause to our environment, you won't believe it.
No, but
except that usually, these are the big boys.
No, but they are working within a framework of reclamation and all that. So
that is the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making. So if they can at a go destroy maybe 2-3 kilometers square at a time, can you compare that with that 25 acre, 5 acre destruction these guys are doing? The difference is because theirs is regulated. They do it within the confines of the law. When they finish, they reclaim the lands. When you go there, and sometimes they even tell you that this place has been mined before. My own hometown, I am free. If you tell you some of the places that had previously been mined today, you might not believe it, because they've reclaimed the land and other planted cash crops or other crops, trees on the side. So you can't even find. So all we have to do, regulate the operations of these guys. Look, for example, just like maybe they're trying to do now, this gold board or whatever. Previously we had the PMMC. PMMC could have, in collaboration with the Minerals Commission, have operated just like cocoa board. If you want to do your cocoa farm, go ahead, go get your own land, do the cocoa farm. Then cocoa board through other PBC or any of their agencies will bring in the farm, or what do they call those guys, the supervisors or whatever, to help you as to how to apply your chemicals, whatever you have to do, and then at the end of the year, your produce, you sell it to them. That is all that PMC had to do in collaboration with Minerals Commission. Yes, map out the mining sites for these boys and follow them. Send in, technical persons, at least to make sure once there are technical guys on the field, they will make sure they don't go into the riverside. Look, most of these Chinese came in because the local guy didn't have the capital, what it takes. So they will usually go to these Chinese who will bring in their capital and machinery and what have you. So we could have created a kind of plan pool system, you see, where the state provides the machinery. Even if not the state, we can engage some of these big corporate bodies, provide the machinery, plan pool system, where the boys now, after Minerals Commission have demarcated a place for them, they go to this place, get their machinery, go and do their mining, you see, and then they put whatever they get, the gold is sold directly to PMMC or today Gold Board at, of course, the going market rates to avoid underground dealers and what have you, smuggling, you see. So they buy it because they took the machines from a plant pool driven by an official excavator or whatever machine operator. The operator will not risk his own job by going into beyond the boundaries of the concession, So once they do that, these guys will operate within the concessions, and then when they go for the machinery, they don't have money. So they are just hoping that they will pay after they mine the gold. They sell the goods to PMMC. Whatever is due to the plant pool is deducted as source and paid to those people. And then a certain percentage is also deducted, just like we do with this road contractors or building contract retention fee. Maybe they deduct 10% or whatever percentage, and then say, okay, fine, if you finish and you reclaim the land yourself, then you come for your retention. If you do not reclaim, then we use the retention to reclaim the land. The retention should be enough such that the people will reclaim the land themselves. Otherwise, we use the retention to get some other guys beyond the first front guys who are doing the actual mining. We get another group of guys whose main business is to go after the Galamsey boys have finished their mining. Then you go behind them and reclaim the land. And then once the land is reclaimed, you can use it to grow other cash crops or any of these tree crops or whatever you want to do over there. So we create jobs not only for the frontlanders, that is the miners themselves, but at least we create jobs for the second brigade, that is those who go to do the land reclamation. If you decide to use it for cash crops or any other thing, then you are also feeding the nation through those things. So why should this be difficult for us to?
But Honorable, you still agree with me that there are people who will still go behind, because for the small scale miners, there's still regulation for them, but people still go behind that, and then in the dark of the moment they go and then dig in unauthorized places like in the rivers and all that.
There will all be those people who would dare to break the law, just like the drivers. There are traffic lights, there are policemen, police, MTTD, they are on the streets, but we still break the law, don't we? Sometimes we break the traffic regulations, we drive through the red lights. When you are caught, the law deals with you.
Okay, so
that doesn't mean they should ban driving in this country just because a couple of us do drive through the red light, or we overspeed, or we drive recklessly. The law then must deal with. So there must be deliberate effort to bring these guys in line. And then the country, as a matter of fact, will be better off.
So in your estimation, we should actually activate the laws to punish people who are...
help them, not just punishment.
Okay.
Just help them.
The regulation is the first step.
Yes.
And those who still flout it should be, the laws must bite.
Of course.
Okay. Right.
Honestly, if we decide to do that, especially through the provision of these plan pool systems and what have you, where the boys know that he doesn't have to pass through some corners in order to access machinery and equipment to do his job, the probability of he doing it illegally will reduce.
But Honorable, there's been also claims of political people and very influential people being engaged in this galamsey.
All of us are involved. Politicians,
how do we deal
with
with
security agencies? Everybody is involved. That's what I'm saying. The solution is not to go after these boys, but to put proper measures in place where the work can be done within the confines of the law, and nobody has to go through his size in the middle of the night and what have you. If we make it easy and comfortable, we still have some people who smuggle their cocoa outside. But at least about 90-95% of cocoa farmers still sell their cocoa to Cocoa Board. Why? Because Cocoa Board is ready to give you the fertilizer. They are ready to give you the... So we can do the same thing. Minerals Commission coming with their officials to make sure they guide you for proper mining, where as long as the excavator is not for you, with the help of trackers and this modern means of tracking the machinery, where even the operator is not taking instructions from you. He knows that his boss sent him to go and do this work for you. He dare not go beyond the concession and then go into river bodies. He will lose his job, besides the fact that he knows in advance that there's a tracker in the office monitoring where he is working. I mean, his job, once he knows his job is on the line, even if the galamsey operator asks him to go do that, he won't do it.
Dry and fresh with Nivea Dry Deo. Keep moving forward with Derma's 72-hour active protection against sweat, odor, and skin irritation. Skin is for moving forward. Nivea is for skin.
So tonight my guest is Samuel Abu Jinapo, I have to always be careful because it's confusing. John Abdullahi and Samuel Abu. And then there's also a Professor Jinapo we interviewed recently. Is he the oldest, the prof?
Yeah, he's the oldest.
Okay. So he's an academic purely?
More or less.
So who does he vote for, you or your brother?
You have to ask him.
So you are the third?
I'm the fourth.
Is there another boy?
There's a lady between John and I.
Oh, okay. So, but the prof is the boss?
He's the boss.
So even though you may be his minister, he's your big brother?
Absolutely.
No doubt about that. The person I really want to interview is your father, to ask him how he did it. Did you guys grow up in a political family?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So how did the two of you end up in different parties?
Well, I believe by coincidence. We had very checkered political evolution, you know, from student activism, student politics.
Okay.
And one event after the other meant that I ended up in the NPP and John ended up in the NDC. That's really what it is.
But you went to KNUST?
Yes, I did.
And studied physics?
Yes,
that's so. Is that when you became political or before that?
Well, I think, I mean, even in secondary school, I was politically awake and politically conscious. Okay. Yes, I was in the secondary school at the time of the 2000 elections.
Okay.
And I was very much interested.
Which secondary school is this?
St. Charles Minor Seminary.
Okay.
In northern region, in Tamale specifically. And I was very interested. I was very interested in the politics of the time. But I think I became a lot more formed politically in KNUST.
Wow. Your rise in politics has been quite fascinating because for somebody who watched the 2000 elections as a secondary school student, and in 20 years, actually, in 17 years, he became deputy chief of staff because Akufo-Addo made you his chief of staff deputy in 2018?
2017.
So that's 17 years after secondary school.
Yeah.
So you haven't even factored in university. Yeah. That's a serious rise. And then 22 years later, Minister for Lands.
Yes. So I had the privilege of being named Deputy Chief of Staff at the age of 33.
Wow.
You may be aware. And Minister at the age of 37. So, yes.
And you were the president's spokesperson even when he was a candidate at some point.
That is correct.
That's incredible.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's how many politicians rise this quickly in there.
Kwahu was, I think, 380.
380 Ghana cedis.
Yes. But private, some are 500, 450, some are 800, 860.
Per session,
yes.
You have to do 2 every
week.
Yeah.
Even if someone earns 5,000 Ghana cedis every month, that person cannot keep paying 380 cedis 3 times a week for dialysis.
Majority of the people who need dialysis to survive in Ghana don't even earn half of the amount mentioned.
Some people battling organ diseases end up losing their jobs because their companies cannot keep paying them for always being absent.
How are these people expected to afford the monies needed for dialysis as well as other expenses, talk less of the huge amounts they have to come up with for transplantation surgeries outside Ghana when they get donors?
It is because of these people that GhanaWeb in August 2023 launched the organ donation legislation campaign to push for the country to pass a law that will guide organ harvesting and transplanting.
As Kwahu plans to increase dialysis fees, the situation requires quicker attention and action.
And so, we must get Parliament to start discussing the organ donation bill and pass it into law.
Now, when this bill is passed, more lives will be saved and the financial burden on patients would be reduced.
And that is why we need you to join us on this campaign. Join the campaign by sending a 1-minute video of yourself sharing why Ghana needs a legislation on organ donation now to editor@ghanaweb.com or via WhatsApp 0552 699 625. Alternatively, you can share the video directly on your social media handles with the hashtags #PassOrganDonationLaw and #LegalizeOrganDonationNow. Organ failure should not be a death sentence.
Beads on the right means you are a royal, you are a chief, because of the beads on the right. People wear it for fancy, but on the right, it means something. Fancy must be on the left. On the left.
It's the month of March, and as you very well know, March is usually the month we call Ghana Month. And what better way to be able to share in the Ghana Month euphoria than to bring you some good stories about the history or the foundations of this very country. My name is Eche Atisu. Welcome to this Ghana Month series here on GhanaWeb TV. I have a conversation with an octogenarian. He's well past the age of 80 years, 81 for that matter. And that tells you that we're going to hear some rich stories about Ghana and maybe to confirm or not some of the things you know about the stories about this country, and maybe also to give us some insights into other aspects of the Ghana story we've not heard before. Ni Ashite Bruku is a retired HR. He's also an elder of the Stool of Teshi. My guest is the 81-year-old Ni Ashite Bruku. Daddy, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Better than other people's lot.
We thank God. You look really, really, I should say you look really good at 81.
I try to make myself look smart and sharp.
Maybe I'd come to you for some little tips as to how to
It
look
will be a
this
pleasure.
good.
It's a joy to live long.
Yes, and we're here to have a conversation with you. I know it's Ghana Month. I want to hear some stories. Your side of the story of Ghana that we've not perhaps maybe heard in the media, and I want us to begin from there. I want to start first of all. I see you have some beads on your hands. I am wearing beads as well. I don't know if I'm wearing the right beads. Would you want to give us some insight into, because you are a traditional person, you are from the stool of Teshi.
Yes.
Would you help us, first of all, some education on things like this that represent our Ghanaianness?
Quite a pleasure. I recall that several years back, I attended a program at the University of Ghana, and I saw a young man wearing 3 beads on the right wrist. Then I called him and said, "Young man, how can you be wearing 3 beads on your right wrist? Do you understand what it means?" Say, "Oh no." But he's trying to connect with his ancestors. Trying to connect with his ancestors. As soon as he said that, I said, "It's all right. If you're trying to connect with your ancestors, then let's leave it there. Go ahead." He begged me if he could remove it. I said, no. Once you are connecting with your ancestors, I understand a lot of things, many things. So there's a very strong, deep meaning to the statement he made. So I let him. Yeah. But you don't wear them for nothing. To wear the wreath on the right, the beads on the right, means you are a royal. Okay. You are a chief. you are a Jasihini, you are stool elder, a principal elder. Any of these and many more positions.
At least you should be in some leadership,
exactly,
traditional framework.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so whenever you attend any program, you are accorded the right position. Nana, this is your position. Ni, this is your position. They are called because of the beads on the right. Now, people wear it for fancy, but on the right, it means something. Okay. Fancy must be
on the left.
On the left. Fancy. So, this is the meaning. Otherwise, people will challenge you and question you all the time.
Okay, that's quite interesting. I'm not a royal, by the way, and I like you've said, I love to just wear beads, first of all. So I'm sure from today, yes, just to look traditional. Maybe from today I'll be more careful with where I put my beads on my hands. But that brings us to...
Don't worry, nobody will arrest you.
At least, that's some comforting one. Anyway, there's a pre-independence story. But we want to focus more on the stories from Ghana's independence up to this time. You have lived through different phases of our country, of our governance, of our traditional environment. I want us to begin from there. The 1957 story of Ghana's independence. What's your side of the story? How was the experience for you? Like, what was your age? What were you doing at the time? How did you receive that story of Ghana's independence at the time?
It didn't stir me up. It didn't do anything. A schoolboy, 11-year-old or whatever, between 9 and 11 years. What did I care about independence? What's all this noise going on? We went to Gendu Park at Sekendi. I was born at Sekendi, though I come from Teshi. Went to march. Well, after that, things went on as normal. But if anything, I recall my life from 1958, thereabouts, when my father was transferred back to Accra, and my first encounter with Kwame Nkrumah began.
Okay, you had encounters with Nkrumah?
We lived very close behind Kwame Nkrumah. Just behind Kwame.
At the time he was president?
Yes.
No,
it was then, and then, what was the title?
But Ghana had gained independence.
No, at 58 years, yeah. Okay. Yes. Leader of government business.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. And we lived behind Kwame Nkrumah. These were my first encounters with him. We as children didn't know who he was, but we knew there was a big man living close by, but we didn't know who he was. He was always in white
political.
There was a bush behind his back, and we went hunting bela. You know bela?
Rats.
And we put bush rats. We put fire to the bush, and it began to burn, and the wind blew it towards Kwame's house. We didn't know him, but then we were trying to douse out the fire when he appeared with his lone bodyguard policeman. Hey boys, what are you doing? Oh, we are trying to hunt bela. And he queried us. This is not the way to hunt bela. You hunt bela with clubs and sticks and not with fire. Otherwise, you burn somebody's house. Don't do that again, yeah? Yes, sir. Then Kwame turned and went away.
That was all?
That was all. We were children, about 10 years old. Okay. Then, having burnt the place, we turned into a football park and began to play ball there. And when the ball flies into Kwame's house, we will climb the wall into his house. Hey boys, are you armed robbers? Are you armed robbers? No, sir. Then don't climb my wall again. If your ball flies into the house, go. Yes, use the gate. That was Kwame Nkrumah. We didn't know him, but the man loved children. There was a mango tree in his house, the middle of the house. We would climb the wall and go. He would warn us. Don't be called thieves. Don't be called thieves. Go to the front gate, ask the policeman, and he will let you in. But this, so the lighter side of it.
You said he had a lone bodyguard.
That's all.
He didn't have any more than that.
That's all. A lone policeman.
This must be, at the time, I could say he was a head of state. He was the
Yes,
president.
He was the leader of a government
business, and he had just one bodyguard.
Yes.
Of course, there were other people in the house helping with other things. But when it came to security, that was all he had.
That's all. That's all. Yeah. Then one evening, at bedtime, we heard a loud noise. Boom. Well, children, what did we care about loud noises? We went to sleep. But in the morning when we got up, we learned that an assassination attempt had been made on Kwame Nkrumah.
Ooh.
That bomb, that noise meant there was a bomb attack on his life. And we all trooped to go and look at the scene. And there was a gaping hole, big hole, in the room where he would have slept. But that night, I guess Kwame went for an washing or something.
He wasn't in.
He wasn't in. He didn't sleep in it.
So you mean the very spot he would have been sleeping in was where the bomb was?
Yes. So, well, life went on as usual. But after that, things changed. After
with security and everything.
We didn't see our famous man again until much, much later. My father's job sent him round.
What job did your father do?
Broadcasting.
Okay.
He was responsible for the establishment of relay stations all over the country. So we're on the move every 2 years. And so we moved on. But we came back again. When we didn't see Kwame Nkrumah, he had then been sent to the Flagstaff House. The Flagstaff House had been built for him. Okay. We went round, and came back again. This time, we lived at Kanda.
That's also just behind.
Yes, Kwame Nkrumah, also behind Kwame Nkrumah.
It was as if your life was
linked.
Okay. The earlier place was where? Where was that?
Accra, Newtown.
Okay, that was the first place.
And that house he lived in, Kwame Nkrumah's first house, is still there. And if Ghanaians were some people who remember their heroes, they would have turned, or they should have turned that house into a museum.
I think maybe we should go look for that place.
It's there. It's there. A brick house, red brick house, is there now. They should have turned the place into a museum by now. But we have no regard and respect and honor for our heroes. No, not Ghana. It's not worth dying for Ghana.
You think that we've not done enough for perhaps for someone like Nkrumah in cementing his heritage and all that he stood for? Should that have been an addition to the several things, or is it that we've not done enough?
Brother, I laugh, I smile, because I don't know what words to use to answer your question. But it's a pain the dishonor we have done Kwame Nkrumah. It's a pain. Those of us who saw him and benefited from his largesse. But let me continue with that story.
So now you are in Kanda. Nkrumah is at the Flagstaff House. You are still very close.
Very close. One Saturday morning, if you know Kanda very well, Flagstaff House separated the bungalows from
Presidential.
No. Oh.
So there's Kanda, which is behind the Flagstaff House. Then the main road.
Main road,
okay.
the Flagstaff House. And this place where they used to have Air Force pilots, yes.
Oh.
Air Force pilots.
Okay.
The French embassy.
Yes.
The French embassy.
Just opposite TV3.
Yes. All that area had Air Force pilots' residence. And I had a classmate whose brother, senior brother, was an Air Force pilot. One Saturday morning, I had come out of our place, Kanda, to go to my friend. I'll pass Flagstaff House and then go to the Air Force pilot's residence. My classmate's senior brother was an Air Force pilot. And just as we got there, he asked us to go and call the daughter who had gone to see a procession of CPP faithfuls in the procession to the Flagstaff House. Just as we got to the street or roadside to call the girl, a bomb exploded.
That's the second time.
A bomb exploded. And you can guess what happened afterwards. These are my little encounters with Kwame Nkrumah.
Did you eventually get to meet him again after the Newtown times? Did you meet him?
For a while, we went to his house to pluck mangoes and so on and so.
So when he moved to the Flagstaff House, that was it. You never got to
at all
counter him again.
At all.
But of course, you lived through his time until '66 when the coup happened. All right, I want us to hold it for a bit. When we return from the break, we'll get into more of the stories of Ghana's history. We've heard a little about the Kwame Nkrumah bit until the 60s, early 60s. We'll catch on from there right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to this Ghana Man series here on GhanaWeb TV. My name is Eche Atiso. I'm here with Ni Ashite Bruku. He is an elder of the Stool of Teshi. Ni, so we were talking about the Kwame Nkrumah story, but Nkrumah was overthrown. You were in Ghana at the time when this happened.
Yes.
How did it happen? Where were you? What did you hear about the overthrow?
I was a schoolboy. I was still in school.
Okay.
I was in secondary school.
Which secondary school was that?
St. John's,
okay.
Atachimota.
Okay.
What happened was unbelievable. What happened was unbelievable. But let me say that young as I was, or we were, we doubted what could have prompted an overthrow. However, when we began to grow up and became more more learning, we understood what was happening.
So what was happening?
Because I'll go back a bit. There was another bomb attempt or assassination attempt on Kwame Nkrumah by a plot, we're told, by R.R. Ramponsan
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
Ramponsa?
Yes.
And Benjamin White, and one other chap whose name always escapes me. All these attempts were made on Kwame Nkrumah. And there was an assassination attempt on him when he was flying to India. It was after his trip to India that the PDA, the Preventive Detention Act, came into. You asked the question, how the coup. I'll tell you a story. There's a lady who was the daughter of the ambassador of Liberia to Ghana. Something Miata Fambule.
That was her name?
That was a lady's name, the daughter of the ambassador to Miata Fambule. According to her, when the coup happened, and they, Liberians, were crying, Ghanaians were jubilating. Do you understand that?
It was the value of the person Nkrumah was that was lost on us?
Yes. Miata Fambule said, why is the Liberians were crying?
Ghanaians were jubilating.
Ghanaians were jubilating.
Which is the stories we've heard about how people went onto the streets, were jubilating, were pulling down statues, were destroying things. That was the same experience you saw?
Yes, and worse.
And worse?
Kwame Nkrumah's followers were arrested. When they cried that there was Preventive Detention Act, that Kwame Nkrumah arrested people. I'll come to that. Arrested people left and right. They, when they took power, didn't only arrest left, right, they added center to it. They arrested left, right, center, front, and back.
It was all over.
It was all over. So, one of the things that we at the time didn't understand was some of the books he wrote, Dark Days in Ghana. Today, they are being manifested.
True manifestations.
Dark Days in Ghana. It's in one of my write-ups. Unfortunately, there's no time to talk about it. But when Kwame Nkrumah was deposed, and he and his security men were exiled in Conakry, something happened. I happened to have a friend who was one of his security men, called Mr. Dakum. I don't know if he's still alive. The man is a struggler like me. And so we made friends naturally. And he told me this story, that one day when they were in Conakry, and they were playing table tennis on the lawn, Kwame Nkrumah descended from upstairs and asked them, young men, why do you think our government was overthrown? Why? We're giving free education, free medical care, hospitals, this, that. So why do you think? Then the security men answered that, Kwame, Master, they said you were arresting people left, right, and center, and you were giving some of the people, throwing some of the people to your lions in the zoo, in your zoo. Then Kwame said, my friend said, Kwame laughed. And what did Kwame do? He opened his shirt and opened his shirt, removed his shirt, and turned his back
to them.
To them. What did you expect to see? Lacerations and scars from bomb attacks on his life on his Kwame Nkrumah's life. For what? Because he's providing free education, free medical care, hospital roads. Well, then my friend said, Kwame asked them, you guys here, you tell me, which one of you will give testimonials, will give a bouquet of flowers to a bomb thrower when you send your child to school and your child comes back home with one arm off, one leg off, then say, oh, Mr. Bomb Thrower, congratulations, you made my child, you made my child handicapped. Thank you. Then you give the bouquet to the bomb thrower. Will you do that? According to my friend, they couldn't answer the question. They bowed their heads. Kwame also bowed down his head, and he climbed up.
That means Nkrumah must have been reflecting on a lot of the things that happened to have come down to ask them those questions.
Yes, because we went to school free.
What was the experience like, especially after Nkrumah was overthrown? Did you still have free things?
It was Busia, I remember, who cancelled free education, who cancelled meals and whatnot at the university. Go and ask those of my age, my peers. You go to school, you go to the cafeteria, the canteen.
You just serve food.
You have what we call appetizers, then the main meal, then what dessert.
Meanwhile, today there's schools that are on the brink of closure because food is not even available. The situation was way better then. We could have had Nkrumah longer than we did. You believe so?
The man should have been allowed a few more years. But there's something serious that I cannot see. There are a group of persons in this country who think that if they are not in power, then nobody should be in power. If it's not them, then it must be nobody. When Kwame was living, when he was overthrown, he left behind 300 physical factories. 300, dotted all over the country.
Many of them are non-existent today.
There are things that I saw, and I still saw them. They are all closed down. They are all closed down. In one of my write-ups, I said, Kwame, I had gone to him on his birthday. Kwame, how are you? Etc. So my son, I'm fine, sit down. So Kwame, before I came here, I passed the road which used to have Lever Brothers and its subsidiary that produced Bedford trucks. Bedford trucks. And on the same road was GTMC that produced khaki uniforms for schools, and then Paints Corporation that produced Ghana Paint. The Bedford truck factory has closed down, Paints Corporation has closed down, GTMC has closed down. But interestingly, a paint factory owned by a foreigner is still working. The one owned by Ghanaian is dead and gone. You think that is good for us?
I don't think so.
You are going to be the beneficiaries of all that happened in 1966, and you are seriously reaping it. I have about 10 more years to live and knock off.
Many people say that Nkrumah was a visionary. There were things he did that no other leader actually had the foresight for, the kinds of things he did. Are there any such examples that you recollect of things that he instituted or worked on that today are the bedrocks of every other thing that we have? Maybe certain sectors. Maybe let's start from an area like health.
That's good. That was what I was going to talk about.
Okay.
But before then, let's share this story. My parents settled here in Tema, 1958. And one was not allowed to rear even a fowl. A fowl. You were not allowed to rear a fowl.
In these areas?
In Tema. In Tema.
That's interesting.
Today, there are cows roaming the streets of Tema.
Very normal.
Normal?
Very normal these days.
Ah, okay. I understand you. The Tema, which Kwame Nkrumah used to boast of. Queen Elizabeth, when he visited Ghana after independence, was brought to Tema. President Tito of Yugoslavia was brought to Tema to come and see that the African is also capable of doing what the white man can do. Tema was a beauty. Tema was a beauty. Today, cows are roaming the streets of Tema morning, noon, and night.
What's that story about the health sector you wanted to share with us? Nkrumah's initiatives, his groundbreaking achievements in that area.
This story I heard from the late Kojobo Otio,
the former health
education minister of Kwame Nkrumah. I heard it live.
Botio was your friend?
No. Botio couldn't have been my friend. Botio.
So it was something you heard in the media?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
But it's interesting. I'm talking about something that happened in the 1970s or so, that Botio was interviewed and said on television that according to him, one day Kwame Nkrumah called him and said, Kojo, I want a medical school established. A medical school? Master, we don't. He became a stammerer at once. Master, we don't have anything. We don't have schools. We don't have lecture halls. We don't have lecturers. We don't have professors. We don't have anything. Then Kojo Botio said, Kwame Nkrumah responded, I don't care, Kojo. Kojo, I don't care. I don't care if you have to start under a mango tree. I, Kwame Nkrumah, I say I want a medical school. And there we are. More than one medical school at Kolebu. So he added, go and tell Professor Ismon. Go and tell, you know Professor
At the University of Ghana?
Yes.
Who was dean?
The dean of the medical school. Go and tell Professor Ismon, I, Kwame Nkrumah, I say I want a medical school. And there we are, many more than one medical school. This is a visionary. This is a visionary. Someone who leads far. Look, there are certain things we can't say easily, but the man was ahead of his time. And for some of us who have some spiritual whatever, we understand him. He was far ahead of us.
Nkrumah is only one aspect of the whole Ghana history and Ghana story. And I want us to bring this part of this Ghana Man series to a pause. And then the next time we return, we would talk more about all the other leaders that have come along the way. So my guest is Ni Ashit Bruku. He's an elder of the stool of Teshi. He's a retired HR person, someone who had some really close encounters with Kwame Nkrumah, lived through the years that Ghana has been independent till now. But that's it for this first part. When we return for the next part, we'll go more into the other stories of some of the other leaders that have led this country. My name once again is Echi Atiso, and this has been a Ghana Month series.
And when the British came, that one, I would like if you can see vis-a-vis how these British people were able to clear all the slave traders from the country, including the Portuguese, the Dutch itself, the Danish, the French, the Germans. They were all trading slavery in our country.
But when the British came the second time,
yeah, they were able to drive all of them out of the country
and became the only slave traders.
Not at all. You see that they correct woman and they're tough like that.
Abanze is a small town along the Atlantic Ocean of Ghana, but that's not the most striking thing about this very small town in the central region of Ghana. It is also home to one of the highest forts in Ghana, and that's our story here on Ghana Month on GhanaWeb TV, as we bring you a chronicle of some of the forgotten forts along the coastlines of Ghana. My name is Echi Atisu. I want to get you into the story right away. Come along.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Joseph. How you doing?
I'm strong like the Bible.
Oh, that's really good to hear. And
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. This is Fort Amsterdam.
Yes, of course.
In Abanze.
Yeah.
We're here to hear all the stories.
Right. The only fort you can see on the highway in this country.
Very, very striking, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So I guess we'll get in.
Yeah.
And then we'll start. Oh, what do you think?
All right. Let's be in the shade.
Okay. So that we can start a conversation from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Fort Amsterdam.
Of course.
I want to hear the history. Thank you once again. Has this been the name of this place all along?
Not at all.
Okay.
All right. Actually, the fort over here was built by the British.
Okay.
It is their first fort in Africa.
Oh, okay.
The British first fort in Africa.
The first?
Yes.
Interesting.
I mean, the first British fort
in Africa. Africa. The entire of Africa.
Right. It's what we are standing in front of it right now. And it was built in 1631.
Okay.
Which was named Fort Cormantine.
Cormantine.
C-O-R-M-A-N-T-I-N-E.
Okay. What did that mean?
Right. That is their word.
Okay. We don't know what it means actually.
Right, of course, because you may not know all the names in this country.
That's true.
Some are Ewe, some are Fanti, some are Santi, and it's all Ghana.
Yeah.
So when we say British word, it's all British.
Okay.
Right. But, people suggest that it is the name Cromanti.
But it isn't.
But it isn't, not at all. Cromanti, when we talk about Cromanti, spellings maybe start with K. That is fancy.
Well, could it not be
could there not be some truth in there? Because we know in those days there were some adulterations in terms of the spellings and pronunciations.
It's true, but this one isn't.
Okay. All right.
It's real, their own name that they give it to a fort.
So possibly a name of someone to remember something?
Yeah.
Okay.
As today, when you say Fort Amsterdam, what does it mean? It's a name from Holland.
Okay.
We can't understand it unless they themselves.
So we still don't even know why the name moved from Commandantine.
That's what I'm coming to tell you.
Okay.
Right? So the British were here doing that. Do you know something? This is the only fort which was not built for slavery. Actually.
So it never had slaves?
Me, I'm crying now. Now, per se, we should.
Let me leave you to prepare the soup then.
Right. So.
Okay. Okay.
So, these British people put up the fort here purposely for merchants. Okay. I mean, for gold. So they built this fort as a warehouse. As compared to the other forts we have in the country, this is the smallest one. This is the smallest and the least one.
When you say small, is it in terms of the rooms, the interior?
I mean the whole.
The whole thing?
The whole building.
Smallest fort?
The smallest fort we have among all.
Okay. I was under the impression the fort we visited at Breku was small. But you said this is the smallest?
Yes, the smallest one.
Okay, I'm sure we'll get in and I'll get to appreciate it better. Yeah. Okay.
So, these British people put up the fort here for their business. I mean the gold business. So there's no dungeon here. And there is no door of no return here. They had only one exit, which is where we are standing.
Okay.
Right. On their business, after 33 years, they had a war with the Dutch. That was 1664.
Okay.
Then the Dutch defeated the British and took the fort from their hand.
Oh.
There they changed the name Fort Commandantine to Fort Amsterdam.
So ultimately became the fort of the Dutch. They were the ones who were here eventually.
Yeah, they took it from the British and then occupied here and rather used the place of the fort for slavery.
So they changed it from
Commandantine to Amsterdam.
So from the usual business of the gold business, they rather started bringing in slaves.
And you can see the fort is very small. So the slaves they got here is very low population.
Joseph, I think that it's time for us to get in. Right. Let's get in. Since you're talking about the size of the place, I want us to
tell you
see
something before we enter.
We can walk and then you can tell me.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to hear it whilst we're walking. So let's be walking so that you tell me.
Here,
sorry.
Excuse me. Here is the main entrance.
Okay.
We have first entrance over there.
The first. Oh, okay.
The first entrance is there, not this one. You see, this is the first courtyard. In front of us here is a first courtyard.
Okay.
There was a walls around the courtyard which has all collapsed down by the British. That's what I want to tell you, but you say let's get in. So don't worry. You hear about that.
So you mean there was a wall here outside?
Yeah. Yes. A wall which goes to the other end and to the other where the cannon is.
Yes.
And straight across to the other end over here.
So it was all around the fort?
Yes.
But where is it now?
It has collapsed.
Was it an act of natural justice?
That's why you're supposed to hear before you enter.
Joseph, now tell me. I was under the impression we had captured some of the story outside. Yeah. So now that you are giving me that detail, let's stay a little longer. So what happened to the wall?
All right, thank you. You know, the Dutch take over.
Okay.
And use the fort for slavery. In fact, they used it over 200 years.
Okay.
For slavery.
But the British were here for only, 33
years. And then the Dutch used the fort more than 200 years for slavery after the British came again. And when the British came, that one, I would like if you can see vis-a-vis how these British people were able to clear all the slave traders from the country, including the Portuguese, the Dutch itself, the Danish, the French, the Germans. They were all trading slavery in our country.
But when the British came the second time,
yeah, they were able to drive all of them out of the country.
And became the only slave traders?
Not at all.
I really want to appreciate the story. As a reason because when you say when they came back, they sacked took over. That's what I want to understand. How was that?
You will understand. You just let me land.
Okay. Actually, be patient.
Good.
Be patient.
Good. So these British were able to drive all these people out of the country.
Okay.
And after they abandoned all the forts because they collapsed most of their forts. You know, they were almost having 80 forts and castles in the country, which are all using for the slavery. From Keta right down to Elibo.
80?
Yes, of course. So these British were able to collapse most of the forts.
Wow.
So that they may be able to sack all of them from the country. So after, they stayed in the castles and then colonized the whole country. Those days, we don't have any name for the country. You see? So they brought us together and then give a name, Gold Coast, in 1874. But that's...
So
it was the British
before that
collapsed.
time, the wars.
Yes.
Before that time, just because you mentioned the name, before that time, so what? How were we known? Some parts in Africa. What? How were we identified?
Oh yeah, that's how you know we are in empires.
Oh yes. Okay. All right.
Asante Empire, Fanti, Ewe,
okay.
And all of them there.
All right. Okay. So it was until they came and put us together,
right?
And they started calling
they
us.
got their school. And through the school, they were able to colonize us. That's why we became an English-speaking country. Yeah. And do you know who started drawing the map of Ghana?
No, you have to tell me.
Yeah.
The British?
No, a Ghanaian.
Oh, okay.
I learned it from school, class 4.
My class 4 teacher didn't teach me that.
It's George Ekam Ferguson.
George Ferguson. Okay. Is it a fancy man?
George Ekam Ferguson.
Okay.
You see, yeah, the name will deceive us because it's a British name.
Okay.
Ferguson is a British name. Ekam, George. Why? Because these people married our mothers, got babies with them, and give their own names to the babies. That's how we got so. That's
why there are a lot of such similar names
mulattoes.
within. Yes, the people will call mulattoes.
You get it? So if I'm called Joseph,
Joseph is a descendant of one of those. That's very interesting.
That's why I like Kofi, but people don't want to call me Kofi.
Well, I'll call you Kofi.
All right, Kofi Kakraba.
Yes. Yeah. Well, from this moment onwards, we are speaking with Kofi, no longer Joseph.
That's me.
Kofi, have we captured much of the story from outside here?
Yeah,
I'm really itching to get in there.
Right, let's go inside.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Come along. Kofi is still with us, telling us the story of...
So, at the main entrance over here.
Okay.
You will be waiting till the door will be open. So whilst you are here waiting, then the soldiers were up there watching you through this hole.
Ooh.
When we got up there, I will open it.
How do you not mention? I didn't realize there was this there.
And you may not even think about that, because all your concentration is here for the door to be open.
Wow.
So when they see you, when the soldiers are there, when they see you here, preparing for any nonsense,
okay,
they would rather drop a gun through and then give you some small bullets, small one. Yeah, they put that on top of your head so that you go sell them. If you get somebody to buy it, then you come for another one. Yes, that they will shoot you.
Yes, that's a very smart.
So they use it as what? Camera.
First camera. Yeah. In the ancient days.
Yeah, at Fort Amsterdam.
Like a pinhole camera.
Right.
Okay, now we are within the very compound. Kofi, this is... Oh, wow. Can you say this is the smallest?
This is the smallest.
But this has a big compound.
Yeah, it can be.
Okay. Wow.
The place wasn't like that before until I came here.
When you say it wasn't...
The whole place like this.
So how was it?
It was bad.
As in the state of the fort?
You see, I was brought here 2018 July.
Okay.
I was working with the sticks.
You were working what you...
Yeah, I'm an accident patient. I was working with the stick when I was brought here.
Okay.
And through the hard working, look at me now. Right. Okay, let's go continue.
Okay.
Inside of the fort, part of it has collapsed as I told you, by the British at the last time they fought. I mean, they drive everybody from the country, and they abolished the slave trade. Right. So this side here, it was a store building, which the soldiers were living up there.
Okay.
And the down were kept handed slaves of men.
So you mean this side?
Yeah, this side. This side.
Okay, so that's the wall?
Yeah, that's the wall from here.
And there was a story building?
Yes, it was a story building.
Up to that level?
Yeah.
That's the length of wooden floor?
Yeah.
Okay, so I see that there are some holes in there.
So the soldiers were living up there.
Okay.
And then the slaves were kept down here. Men, 100. Only men. Right.
So we can call this the male cells.
Male cells.
Okay. Male cells was here. Yes. About 100 of them.
100.
Okay.
Men only. Right? And this side you can see something like this over here. It is a pond. They brought the geese from the Holland to the courtyard over here.
They brought what?
Geese.
Oh, so you mean
so they have their pond here. That's where they give their water or food.
So they brought their own geese,
right? And you know what they use them for?
No.
Right. These geese were in the courtyard here, but they were able to sense from the forest. If anybody around the forest, they will make noise for the soldiers to alert.
Is that a natural feature of geese? Oh, I need to read more about that. Okay. So it was strategic for them to bring the geese.
Right.
Because they could sense people.
Their security purpose.
These are the British?
The Dutch.
The Dutch?
The Dutch.
Wow.
And they are still using the geese in Holland. They are very smart and wilder than the dogs.
Kofi, should I replace my dogs with some geese?
Oh yes. if you Google or you ask some of people from Holland, they will tell you.
Okay. Maybe I'll consider.
They can be able to beat you.
You mean
with their wings?
Yeah,
they have heavy. You know, they are heavy than ducks.
Yes, they are.
And their mouth,
the beak.
Hey.
Oh. So this was their pond.
This is their pond. You see, at times people thought that it is a dam brew. No. What kind of dam brew have these steps?
This is small. This is for animals. Yes. I want to believe, because I also imagine I actually even thought maybe it was just for maybe kids or something. But it's still very small.
They have two. One is in front of them, but just covered, filled with dust.
Okay.
So that place is also as I told you, it's a first courtyard. And before here.
Wow.
You see. God.
Port Amsterdam.
This port is very small, but it has a very big history.
I'll be honest with you. I was just going to mention that I didn't anticipate that this place carried so much history. Even this alone. We've not moved past 100 meters from the entrance, but you shared with me so much, the kinds of things I want to hear, the kinds of things I haven't even heard from anywhere else. I'm expecting more.
And you hear more as we are moving from door to door.
So what we're going to next?
Right, we are going this side.
This way?
Yeah.
What is here?
Yeah, the first door is here.
Okay.
When you reach there, you hear what is there. You see where we have entered?
Okay.
Right? It's another story building which the floor has collapsed. I think you can see it.
Yes, I can see that there's some
remnants over there, right?
Yes.
That's the floor.
Okay.
That's how they built the whole floors in all the forts and castles. Good. Here is another story building which the top and the upstairs was used as church. Why you say
You know, let me allow you to.
Right.
I asked a question in one of the forts.
Let me finish giving you.
Yes, then I'll ask you.
And after you ask
I would ask you.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, as a teacher in the class, you have let me to. Give you everything.
And then I
give
will
you explanation after you ask me a question.
You see, I'm a very curious man.
Yes, of course.
So I have a lot of questions in my head.
Don't worry, you have more answers from here.
All right.
Thank you.
So tell me about the
church. So they built the church with their Bible upset there. And that is what it was done in all the forts and castles, which are using for the slavery. Good. I don't want to talk much about that. So that is what up there.
Okay.
And down here were kept another 100 slaves of men. So they were up there worshiping God, and people were here suffering, dying, and they don't bother at all.
Is the reason I was going to ask you that question. I was wondering, was it just business for them as usual?
Yes, of course, they came for business. They came for business.
But
to get some people as laborers to work for them.
But they still kept their faith. They had their Bible.
Ah, well, man. If somebody wants to take your idea and he disturb you, can you share your idea with him? Yeah, he must cool you down. You see, whenever you see somebody in a gun, like a cassock, you know that person is a peace man. So you be relax and then listen to him. But if you see a soldier with a gun,
with a camouflage,
you won't take it easy at all. So they came in that way, so that we may listen to them. Inner them are very like wolves, as Jesus Christ said. Yeah, they have already planned already
what they were about to do.
Yes. So that's why they built such forts and castles. Look at how they built it, so that when they are in, you can't attack them. So they will preach the gospel to you, and after they will capture you as a slave. So you can imagine, when you got inside the fort or the castle, you can't go out.
That's all.
And complain that there's something going on. So those outside there,
they didn't know what was
they know what is going on. Plus, even some of them dead, and they threw them to the sea.
Kofi, this was another room that housed men.
Yeah, 100 men.
Did they have women here?
Yeah, they have women.
So we'll get to see that.
Okay.
Now we've seen this.
Thank you.
Now more and more, I think that this place perhaps carries the richest.
You just watch the walls. I want you to watch the walls. What do you see? Look at it very carefully. What do you see in the walls?
Those are shells.
Very good. Very good. You see it clear. That's shells.
Okay.
All the forts and castles in the country were not built by cement or iron rod. I can tell you. In those days, there was no any cement or iron rod factory anywhere.
So this is shell.
They use the shells, palm oil, sand, with water.
Palm oil. Was that to paint or what?
Oh,
mix
it. They mix all of them, and it become a mortar, which they use it to put up every stone you can see.
Just out of curiosity, did they build it themselves, or they had the locals?
They had the locals as their laborers, giving them sardines and tinapa to working for them. You know, those days there's no any currency. So if you come to work, maybe they give you one sardine.
Just feed you.
You'll be very happy because you have not tasted soup before. And when you go and share it with your brother, he will also follow you the next time. And in those days, our people are very strong. The things that they were able to carry, I and you cannot carry. You see, that's how they were able to get them, to help them to put up all these forts and castles. And after, when they have finished it, then
they use them against them.
Then they will tell you something different.
Kofi, where are we going to next?
Right, you can see the two colors of the bricks inside the building.
Yes.
You have come to my classroom, so you have to exercise patience.
And you're a good teacher, I must admit. Two colors.
Right.
Why are they different?
Good. The red ones is clay, and it is from British.
Okay.
And the yellow one is stones that they cut. It's also from Holland, the Dutch.
The stones are from here?
Not at all.
They brought them?
The ordinary stones were here, from here, from this land particularly.
Yes, but they were cut.
Yeah. No, this one is not from here. It's from Holland, I told you. It's a brick. It's a brick. You can see them.
So these ones
the
came
bricks
from
Holland.
Okay.
And this one from Britain. You see, when the ships are coming in empty, it used to balance. So when they loaded the what do we call
bricks?
it? The bricks inside the ship, it will not balance.
So we just stabilize it.
That's it, and bring it safely. Because that time it's a wooden ship.
Yes.
And it don't have an engine. See, and when the ship is returning back,
it goes with human beings.
That's it, full loaded. You can imagine how they pack the sardine. It's okay.
In general, can you estimate how many slaves went through this particular fort within its time of existence?
Actually, I cannot.
Okay, even rough estimates?
Even I cannot do it because, you see, if I have something like that here, that information here, that I can be able to give it. To give information.
And I appreciate that.
Whenever you say you are a child of God, always you should be faithful. Your yes should be yes, and your no should be no. So that people will also learn from you.
Yes, sir.